This is the Almost Timely newsletter for the week of September 17th, 2023. Content authenticity statement. 100% of this newsletter was generated by me, the human. No AI was used to generate the content of this issue. There's a link that works this week in the statement in the newsletter that goes through an explanation and a short video of why you should be disclosing the use of AI. What's on my mind this week? AI and the death of the hourly business. What do most lawyers, accountants, PR professionals, marketing agencies, and consultants all have in common? Their businesses are doomed. Okay, that statement probably needs some explanation. These businesses, they all bill by the hour. These firms charge by how much time we customers consume of their talent. Lawyers at big law firms charge in 6-minute increments and at anywhere from $350 to $750 an hour. Marketing agencies and PR agencies bill by the hour as well. Back when I worked at a PR agency, we all had to track our time down to the 15-minute increment and input that into these arcane time tracking systems that were actually repurposed manufacturing systems. That data then went to accounting for billing to clients and all that stuff and reports about utilization of your team. The entire profitability of the agency was based on charging what was essentially 3x the effective hourly rate of the employees. So if you got paid $25 an hour, your bill rate to the customer, what you were billed out at, was $75 an hour. And believe it or not, this made sense in the old world, in the old way of doing things. Hourly billing is never at cost because you have a lot of overhead, right? Your talent is never at 100% utilization, meaning that every minute of every day, your talent is working, they're billing, right? That doesn't happen. And you have entire roles or even entire departments in agencies and such that still cost money, but don't bring in directly billed money, like your accounting team, your HR team, your finance team, your diversity team. Even salespeople technically don't bring in direct billable time because they're out selling, but they don't service the accounts, and so they're not putting time in timesheets that gets billed against a client. So that business model of charging by the hour at 3x the billable rate has worked really well for like the last 100 years. No more. AI is about to Miley Cyrus the hourly billing model for white-collar professional work billed by the hour and come in like a wrecking ball. Let's look at a couple of examples. A while back, my company needed to have a particular legal agreement written, and we were billed for 10 hours of work by our law firm. And that seemed fine at the time, and it was fine. The attorney did a fine job. We got what we needed to take care of business, and the bill was $4,500, $450 an hour. Not too long ago, a friend asked me for help with a similar legal agreement, but she couldn't afford a full attorney, or any attorney, really. What did I do, not being an attorney myself? I, of course, used generative AI to create the same document. I believe I used Claude 2 for that. And it was quite good. I then took it to a different large language model, ChatGPT, and asked ChatGPT to check the first model's work, looking for omissions and deviations from best practices. And it found a couple minor things, but nothing significant. And then the agreement in its final form was reviewed by a human attorney who graciously at no cost gave it their blessing with no changes. Yeah. I'll say that again. The agreement written by machines was reviewed by a qualified human attorney with no changes. That is a big, big deal. How long did I spend on the task? About 15 minutes, right? And granted, I'm not an attorney. Probably would have taken an attorney less time. I had to figure out the prompt. But even at 15 minutes, that's $87.50 in billing if you go by the rate of $450 an hour. If I were that attorney that we paid $4,500 for the same amount of work, I'd be very, very, very concerned about no longer being able to bill, $4,500 based on time when I got the same output and outcome but $87. Here's a second example. At the aforementioned PR agency, we had a junior role on staff called the account coordinator. And despite the name, they didn't actually coordinate anything. What they did was grunt work, right? From photocopying stuff to taking notes on client calls, copying and pasting Google results into spreadsheets, fetching coffee, you name it. I kid you not, on one team, there was an account coordinator who copied and pasted Google search results to client reports 40 hours a week. I would have clawed my own eyeballs out if I had that kind of job. Actually, that's not true. I would have found my way to automate my entire job out of existence and then just wandered around and had fun all day instead. The agency even had utilization standards for how much billable work each role in the agency was supposed to do. So staff roles were junior staff, 100% utilization. Every minute of work from the time they clock in to the time they clock out, they were supposed to be doing billable work. Managers were at 75%. So 25% of the time they were supposed to be doing non-billable work like helping out with sales pitches or professional development for their teams, generally trying to help people be more productive. Executives like directors and VPs and such were 50%. Half the job of those people, and I was one of those people, was sales because there wasn't a dedicated sales team. So half your day, half your week, half your month, half your year was supposed to be pitching new business, which was exhausting. Many of the tasks that the staff level roles fulfilled, taking notes during meetings, writing press releases and content, copying and pasting stuff, those are all tasks that machines can and probably should do. There really is no reason in the world for a human being to manually transcribe a call now and then extract meeting notes and action items from that call. None. Services like Otter, which there's a link in the newsletter, they can record a call and then with a large language model produce automatically high quality meeting notes and action items by speaker or by team very easily. There is no reason for a human to write a generic, bland press release, right, filled with self-congratulatory praise of a mediocre product or service. Machines can already do this better than humans, and they can even inject a little levity in it, which means that the AC, the account coordinator role, as well as the account executive and the senior account executive, which are the 3 staff roles at my old agency, they cannot possibly be at 100% utilization anymore in an age of AI. There simply is not enough billable work to go around when you use AI intelligently to streamline operational processes. The days of an account coordinator writing a press release and an account executive editing it and then a senior account executive proofing it are and should be over. Right? A machine should write it, another machine should edit it, and then a human being should be the last set of eyes on it. And the task, writing a press release, which used to take like 8 billable hours, 4 for the coordinator at $125 an hour, 2 for the executive at $150 an hour, and 2 for the senior account exec at $175 an hour. Now you just bill 2 hours for that human's final review. So let's be generous and say the account executive, the senior account exec, would keep the task of final review. Instead of billing $1,100 to the client for those 8 hours, as an agency owner, you're now only able to bill $350, right? 2 hours the senior account exec's time. That's a massive loss of billable time, more than enough to push any agency from profitable to unprofitable in a hurry. So, how do we solve for this? How do we accommodate the usage of AI without destroying our profitability? We have to do this in 2 steps. First, if your company bills by hour, you need to make the pivot to value-based billing immediately, today. Perhaps even stop reading this newsletter or this video or the recording and call a meeting of your senior leaders to switch to value-based billing. Value-Based Fees, the book by Alan Weiss, is an excellent read on this practice. If you've not gotten a copy, there's a link in the newsletter. You go on Amazon, grab a copy. Value-based billing is where agencies should have been for the last 20 years anyway. The value of what you do isn't how long it takes you to do it, but the knowledge and applied skill to do the task, right? No one cares how long it took Michelangelo to paint the Sistine Chapel. We just care that it's done. A press release costs $1,000, not because it took 8 hours to do it, but because you know as a PR professional what language to use to help that press release achieve its goals. Heck, your expertise as a PR professional is what helps you set those goals to begin with as a master practitioner of PR. An NDA costs $4,500, not because it took you 10 hours to copy and paste a template and adjust it, but because as an attorney, you know the law and what clauses should or should not be in it. Do you need a data protection clause that's GDPR compliant if a company does not do business in or with the EU? No. You know that as an attorney. You can tell a machine what to put in and what to exclude and let the machine do the writing of it. Critically, you then bill for $4,500, even if it took you 10 minutes, because we're not paying for your time. We're paying for your brains. If you switch to value-based billing, how do you know what to bill? Well, this is where data, your data, the data you've collected so far will help. You know from your existing data that on average, a general ledger review as an accountant takes 12 hours and you bill that out at $2,400, right? Go through all your services, all your tasks in your current time tracking system and look for the median or maybe the mean billing rate for that task. If you have a lot of anomalies, choose the measure of centrality that makes the most sense for your business. But in general, You should already be able to arrive at a sense of what any given task is worth just from the data you have on hand. Switching to value-based billing is the single most important thing you can do to protect your business from the impact of AI if you own or have responsibility for an hours-based business, a white-collar professional business. Obviously, if you're a plumber, right? That's not going to change. When Katie and I started Trust Insights, we came right out of the agency world and we threw away the hourly model immediately from the get-go because, again, you're not paying for time. You're not paying for me to do something in a certain amount of time. You are paying for the combined 50 years of unique professional experience that she and I bring to the table. The old parable, the plumber who charged you $500 for the 5 minutes it took to fix your boiler because they knew which part to fix, that holds true. That is value-based billing. Do you care how long it takes me to run an attribution model? No. You care that it's right and that it's useful. Whether it took me an hour, a day, or a minute is immaterial to the purpose. You got the value in the work output, the work product. So that's the first step to deal with this situation where AI is going to radically change your business. The second step, once you've switched to value-based billing model, is to wholly embrace the use of AI everywhere that is feasible within your business. Every task we've just discussed, every task that you've charged by the hour for, convert that task to use AI as much as possible, as quickly as possible. You're probably saying, wait, what? Didn't AI just cause us to need to make massive changes to our business? Why would we embrace it? Because the changes it's forcing on your business are universal, but the benefits it brings are not. Every hourly business that's in the professional services space, the white-collar space, the office space, every hourly business will need to pivot to deal with the changes AI is bringing. So pivot to value-based billing. Everyone has to do that. But not every business will benefit from AI evenly. The business that goes all in will be more efficient, more effective, and more profitable than the business that dabbles in it or outright resists it. Let's get hypothetical. Let's do two scenarios. You have two PR agencies, one that embraces AI and one that doesn't. Both switch to value-based billing to preserve their billing rates, right? And have a rate card that says press release costs $1,000. That's your revenue. AI is now the X factor, the unknown on the cost side. If you bill following the 3X rule, your cost per human for a fully human process is going to, that's 8 hours. It's going to be what? We said it was $11.50, so that's divided by 3. It's $383 for those 8 hours. That's what it's going to cost you to pay those employees. For the account coordinator, account executive, and senior account executive, keep doing things the way you've always done it, right? Your ROI is, remember, it's earned minus spent divided by spent. So 1,000 minus 383 divided by 383. That's 161% ROI. That's good. That is a good margin, right? If you stay the course and you don't make any changes to your business, that's still a decent margin. However, if you're the business that adopts AI to do everything except the final pass, your cost for the 2 hours it takes for a senior account executive to do the human review on the machine-generated press release is $116. Remember, we're counting cost, not what we bill out the person at. So your ROI, if you're that agency owner, is 1,000 minus 116 divided by 116, or 762% ROI. Which business would you rather be? The business that has 161% ROI or 762% ROI? You don't need to be a data scientist to figure that one out. Moreover, the business that has the 762% ROI has a lot more wiggle room to undercut pricing, cut sweetheart deals, or do other things to capture market share because their expenses are just so much lower. It would not take very much to get the all manual, this is the way we've always done it, business, to get them into negative ROI territory when you're competing against an AI-enabled business that can just cut its prices by half, undercut you, and put you out of business. This is what is coming to hourly-based businesses in every industry that has office-based hourly billing, right? Obviously, AI is not going to replace your plumber or other tasks that are in the physical world yet. But language-based tasks, your white-collar professional tasks, they're all up for grabs by AI, especially with the most advanced systems today, like LangChain-based AI networks. You must switch to value-based billing as soon as possible. And if you want a competitive edge, you should then adopt AI every place in your business you possibly can, as quickly as you can, once you've made the billing switch. That's how you're going to win in an hourly-based business in the age of AI. All right. New section this week, just below the unsubscribe button, there's a new survey. It's a one-click survey, and all that does, it's going to be in the newsletter every week. I want your feedback for every issue. Rate this issue with a single click. There's a smiley face, a neutral face, and a frowny face. Click the one that you think this issue represents. Let me know, because I'm going to use that information to figure out what content to create for you. Like if all the AI issues just get all frowny faces, I will know. Okay, it's time to stop talking about that. All right. In other news, what else we got this week? This week did a fun live stream on interpreting customer satisfaction score data and interpreting it in the age of AI. So be sure to catch the replay of that. Links in the newsletter. We also had some talk about accounting and taxes in large language models, the ecological impact of AI, and understanding generative AI capabilities. So lots of good stuff there. If you have watched my AI talk, the keynote, which is still at the top somewhere, and you want to bring it to your company, there's a link in the newsletter to talk that through. But I'm doing a lot of that, and it's a lot of fun, but also very helpful for folks who want to bring a customized briefing to their executive team, to their leadership, and to their entire company. All right, what do we got for jobs this week? We have ABM specialist at Campaign Monitor, data analyst at Aller Media, data science architect at Apex Solutions, digital marketing manager at Etsy, director of sales at Customer.io, and 2 technical account manager positions at Snowplow Analytics, one in the US and one in the UK. So people are still hiring, although I will say the job market right now for marketing in particular is really, really soft right now. It's at a multi-year low, actually lower than it was before the pandemic. So if it feels like it's really difficult to get work, it's not your imagination. It really is very tough out there. But it looks like in the data we've just crossed over a lower inflection point, and things seem to be ticking back upwards. So if you've been looking and it's been just a really tough, just know that it's probably going to get better soon. Not as soon as you would like, but it looks like we are at the bottom of that trough. In other news, we have SEMrush unveiling some AI-powered tool to supercharge social media presence, which is pretty cool. Government TikTok bans and how to deal with them as communicators, how to defend your organizations against deep fakes, the state of SEO and how agencies and in-house pros are navigating all the disruptions in the space. More companies signing on to the White House AI Safety Accord. We have a piece on AI-driven pumpkin spice, and a bunch of stuff from IBM, including frictionless trade models, and 3 articles in the random stuff that I thought were really interesting. One was on How America Got Mean, which is a very interesting read on sort of the lack of moral foundation in society, which is interesting. One on phenylephrine, which is the most useless decongestant medication you could possibly take, yet it is the most common one. Again, we've known this for, 20 years now, but it's still being sold. And a really interesting piece on long COVID. Long COVID affects 1 out of 3 people 2 years later, and for certain organ systems, like about a third of organ systems in the body, it shows no sign of stopping. So try to avoid it if you can. That is the news for this week. Oh, we have upcoming events. ISBM in a couple weeks, followed by Content Marketing World and Marketing Analytics and Data Science, Content Jam, Marketing Pros B2B Forum here in Boston in about 3 weeks now. You're going to want to be at that one. You are going to want to be at that show. Yeah, I'm not going to ruin any surprises. You're going to want to be there. AI Impact, which is an event I just signed this week. It's going to be online in November. There's a link in the newsletter if you want to sign up for that one. And then Social Media Marketing World in San Diego in February of next year. So already booking into 2024. That's the news for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate having you here, as always. And let me know if you got any questions. Hit reply on the email. Leave a note in the comments, whatever makes you happy. But I appreciate your attention. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.